Welcome back to another update video for whatever this is here. Traitor-Dev. I don't know what episode it is, but that's fine. So this has been on the server for a little bit. I am on the actual server this time because there is some server news to cover. So you may notice here, and by may notice I mean like you definitely 100% obviously have to, or you're blind. No, and if you're blind, I don't know how you're playing this game, so I don't know how you'd be watching. Speaking of which, if you're blind, I don't know why you'd be watching. You couldn't watch. Anyway, that all aside, new buttons have dropped. So we have plenty of available options here. We've got, I'm assuming none of these have been claimed yet. We've got 10 there in the blue. We've got 10 in the pink. I'm assuming none of these have been claimed either. Nope. All right, so that's 20 new ones downstairs. I'm thinking of potentially doing like I have in there over here. So I would change green and purple to both maybe be green and just go 0 to 9. That would obviously change which locations people's buttons are in though. So I'm kind of on the edge if I want to do that. And then I would do the same over here. But again, I'm not positive on that just as of yet. If we head upstairs and take a walk into where the break room used to be, or the little like cafeteria dinette thing, I'm not really in love with this whole area here. I feel like I should probably change it. I think this long pathway here is probably really unnecessary, and I could probably just make it, you know, a path right here and leave this all open and put something else here. Maybe maybe put like a greenhouse in here with glass roof or something. I don't know, but only reason I am showing this is because there's 10 available spaces there and 10 available spaces here. So there are 40 new spots available for people to build in. I did not extend out through here, but that is still a possibility as well. So that would be giving us another 20. I'll wait till these have some things being placed in them before I really worry about making a lot more options, as they're really unnecessary right at the moment. Let's see here. Oh, actually, no, the best way to do this is just head on over to the academy here, or whatever we're calling this thing. New fire for the campfire. I don't believe I had this fire in the previous video, so that's new. Card table. Pretty nice, huh? I had made a very stupid mistake on this, but I caught it and fixed it before it went live, so nobody need to ever know about it. I don't think I'm gonna... Oh, wait, that was this one, right? I think it was. It gives a chat message now. Yes, I was correct. So you get a chat message now if you do that. No, I guess I don't. Never mind. This is pretty neat, how the cards are bigger and then you pick them up. I don't necessarily like that they get smaller, but I do like the bigger inventory slots. I've been learning a lot about form specs and theming form specs and stuff doing this whole process. So like here's a little trick for everybody. If you use F5 when you have a form spec open, you can get this debug information. So the text area here is this whole kind of highlighted area. So depending on your screen resolution and size, the text will format to fit, and it's set to always be centered vertically and horizontally. So it should always be to the middle there. And then the numbers here center out into this box as well. So again, as your screen changes size, everything should pretty much stay the same. Although I do suppose if your screen was too small, it might not be able to display the whole inventory here, but everything's been tested on a 1920 by 1080 screen, and that's basically what I've used as my baseline for everything. So I know those work. I don't remember if this... Oh yeah, it was. I remember because I did that. Whoops, I didn't know I could do that. The microscope has been changed to just a slightly darker color. I realized that I made all of my sample textures here the wrong resolution. So I've been making all the form specs at a 32 pixel per unit resolution, I guess. So say this is I don't know what this is, 10 by 8 maybe. So it'd be 320 by whatever the math would be. I don't know. But these textures I made at some other resolution. I don't know why. So they don't mix, which is why nothing else on it is just a solid colored background. Because if I did do a texture, you would see that textures don't match up, which would just be terrible. We went through and closed all the doors. Not that that matters. This is an, I don't think this one was available last time. So you just got this little circuit board. You throw your piece in there. Got a little LCD screen there. Kind of cool. Printing press. I like this one. It's pretty neat. I don't have a radio thing in here. The radio dish. Not a huge fan of this one, I'll be honest. It just kind of shows the radio dish and says signal strength. And if it's broke, it has an inventory down at the bottom and the button here and a slot here, and it, I think text goes to the top and it says that no signal or whatever. Yeah, so it's kind of meh. So we put our paper in there, and now it's just the exact same thing, but it has paper in it, and it says paper stock okay. So yeah, that's been fun doing all the form spec stuff. I think that's it for any new form specs I've been creating. Yeah, I think so. Let's go to the new nodes portion of the video. So there are a handful of fires. I don't know if all of these fires were covered in the last video I did. I discovered, I wish I could remember what it was called. It's a, I don't know, is it technically a shader? It's a material for Blender. This fire here is rendered from like a completely procedural node tree. This is not done with volumetrics. It's probably over the heads of most people watching, and like I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, well, this fire was made with like a particle system, so each chunk of flame, if that makes any sense, is like a little sphere with a texture that changes color depending on how old it is. It's pretty technical. And this is literally just a box in Blender that this texture is applied to, and everything else is just controlled by a couple variables. There's no baking, there's no simulating. It takes a little bit longer to render, honestly, because there is a lot of calculations going on, but it's well worth it. The flame comes out looking very nice compared to other things, so I definitely dig it. With those, I think all we have is a lot of new materials. So let me see if I can't find some of these. Yeah, I think I did the new garbage bins and stuff. The rope block. I remember doing the rope block. Okay, so we have some new brick textures. I believe that's these three. I should probably just put them over here because that'll be easier as we go along. I think there's just one new concrete, which is this cracked concrete here. I feel like I got some new dirts. I think that's just these two. I know there's some new grasses. I believe that starts with this one through to there. The gravel, this is a new gravel. I don't know how I really feel about that one. I've got some new ice. I've got that. We've got some dried mud. Wait, I think that one existed before. I think these are the new dried muds. There's a new sci-fi texture or two. I guess it is two. I've got a new snow texture. I think this is a new stone texture. I've got some weird green stone. I've got some stone with moss. I've got some more stone with moss. I made a lot of stone with moss. I feel like... Yeah, I just forgot to change the descriptions of these. These aren't all mossy stone. Oh, well. That might be it for new. Yeah, and then obviously you have all the slabs and the stair variants of those. So let's run over to the far corner here, someplace where I can mess stuff up and not really worry about it. I'll just clear it out. Let's turn fly mode on. So we've got a nice looking brick texture here that could be used for walls, could be used for, whoops, I didn't want to put that one there. Oh well, I can't break it without the hammer. I don't feel like pulling the hammer out, so we'll just leave it kind of goofy looking. And make good roadway, make good walls. We have a larger, smoother stone, which I don't know about roadways. I mean, obviously you can use it for anything you feel like, but I was thinking more of a, what do they call that? Dry stack walls. There's a name for this. Fieldstone, a fieldstone wall. Or like a castle wall. You know, you'd have bigger rocks on a castle wall so that it's not as easy to bust in. We've got something that would look great as a patio. Some diagonal ones. I suppose, I mean, again, you can use it for anything you want. That would probably be okay looking as a wall as well. I must be wearing the straw hat to have my shadow. What am I looking for? I'm looking for clothes. Yeah, I'm wearing the straw hat. Let me take that off so the shadow... that looks a little better. We've got... this is the cracked concrete. I don't really know how I feel about this one. Because I feel like these cracks are honestly way too big. Like, this is some really cracked concrete. If we're considering that each of these nodes is 1 meter, right? I mean, this crack's got to be... Well, a meter is, well, like, is it bigger than a yard? A meter, I think it's a little bit smaller than a yard. Like 33 something inches, right? Anyway, whatever it is, this crack here is almost like 1 inch wide. So, yeah, I don't really know how I feel about that. We've got some dirts. I mean, I've needed some more dirts for a while. That's kind of a meh dirt, honestly. This one I feel pretty meh about as well. But it does give variation, and that's what I was aiming to do with these latest updates here. I do really like some of these grasses. This one is not one of those. This I don't really feel like should be considered grass. It's getting dark. Let me just do times 6,000 to make it daytime. There we go. See, I don't really care for this grass too much. Honestly, it looks like filter material for my pond. This one I'm kind of on the edge about, honestly. Like, it's definitely got its place, but I feel like it shouldn't be considered grass. It's more of a mossy type material. Like, I feel like it would look good in like a swamp or a marsh or something. But you know, again, as I've been saying, you're free to do with it whatever you want. Use it for carpeting in a house if you want. I mean, it's totally up to you. I would never have a carpet like that in my house. But I do like this grass texture. I feel like there was one more that I'm missing, but whatever. We've got some gravel. I don't know. This is there's too much contrast going on here. The darks are way too dark. I don't really feel like this looks like gravel at all. It looks like big rocks. I suppose I should probably mention all of these new textures that I'm demoing here. I have made with Dream Image, is it? It's a Blender add-on. It uses Stable Diffusion, AI generated. And I've kind of just started using it in the last week. So I'm kind of still learning what I'm doing, honestly, with crafting good prompts. But I've definitely gotten some good stuff out of this. Like this ice texture. I like this. I like this a lot. This looks nice. I mean, I don't know how icy it looks. To be, I mean, perfectly clear. Ice usually is a little more solid. But it's ice. It's slippery, as are the other ice nodes that have existed for a while. This ice is probably a little more realistic as far as looks go. It kind of looks like a Voronoi noise, however. Not to say that that's anything against it, but it kind of looks like, you know, the bottom of something underneath water with waves on top of it, which, to be completely fair, you could 100% do that. Let me put a wall up here real quick. You could totally use this ice as the bottom. It would have been better if the water was deeper, but I mean, I can sneak through there, so it kind of works. Like, I mean, it does kind of have that look of the bottom of a swimming pool when there's water on top of it because the waves are making the light diffract, right? Hopefully that's the right physics stuff. I don't really know on this one. It's what was the prompt I put in? Sci-fi wall material, and this is what Stable Diffusion spat out at me, amongst many other things. And I was like, I don't know. I could see it having some use. So I think it's categorized as sci-fi. Oh no, it's metal with engraved designs. Okay. Honestly, just me personally, I feel this would look much better as like, I don't know, some kind of ancient Aztec or Mayan or, you know, something like that. Their stonework on the sides of a pathway or the roof of a building. I don't know if they did that on the roofs of buildings, but I just feel like it fit more like that. I don't know how I'd feel about seeing this in a spaceship. I mean, I guess maybe alien spaceship or something, but yeah, there's that. There should be another. Oh, it's over here. Okay, let me just swap this one out real quick because this one also came from the exact same prompt. So I gave it, you know, multiple runs on the same prompt to see if I couldn't find, you know, something that would be suitable for this. And this one I feel like is a little more, you know, sci-fi, futuristic, outer space, spaceship, whoops, kind of, you know, weird metal look thing. I don't really know what you'd use it for other than spaceships. Continuing right along, however, we have a lot of ground to cover. We have some dried dirt here, or dried mud, I think it actually is. Again, these cracks are super huge. A lot of these textures will probably be replaced / revised as I get better ones. Like this one I think is much better. The cracks are at a much smaller scale. The thing about, and maybe I just don't know what I'm doing yet, about AI image generation and stuff, you don't really get to give it a size. Like it generates all the images at 512 pixels wide and high, because that's as much VRAM as my GPU has, so that's as big as I can go. But like I can't tell it what scale. So I scale these images down to 128, and they're generated seamless. So I pretty much just, whatever it gives me as an output, scale it down and see how it looks. So like these stones here, I would really like if they were a little bit smaller. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. If you're going to muck around with AI to create stuff for you, you kind of just got to deal with what it gives you, you know? Until something comes along where you can pick your scaling or something. But yeah, so some of them are pretty good. Some of them, like I said, I'm a little on the fence about, but you know, nothing so horrible that it's like, oh, this makes me want to vomit or anything. I mean, your mileage may vary. This one might be one of those where your mileage varies quite a bit. I thought it was nice, okay. It's a nice stone texture. It would look well mixed into a mountain like this. And there are several of them that are very similar with just slightly different variations in the color. The same kind of underlying, I know I'm jumping all out of order here, same kind of underlying colors and formations. So these, no wait, I think this one was made with a different prompt, but these three were all made with the same prompts. And I feel like they kind of would mix together pretty well in the way that the different materials in there mix together. So yeah, this one I just really like. It's good. You could use it for so many things. Old sidewalks and roads, you know, got some moss and lichen growing on them, some algae. Use it for walls, subterranean chambers, so many options. And then we got this weird thing. Okay, this one's weird. There's another, oh wait, is there not? There was a second one. I think I got rid of it. Did I? So I went on to, no I didn't, it's right here. So I went onto Wikipedia because, you know, we all know Wikipedia is never wrong about anything and is the foremost source of information for the dumb masses. And I typed in a search for rocks because I was using just rocks for prompts, and I was getting terrible results. So I was like, let me use some actual names of different types of rocks. So these two rocks are generated from a prompt of adakite, which is a type of rock. Now, I'm a little confused, to be quite honest, as to why it turned up green, because according to the pictures on Wikipedia, it's just a gray rock. There's nothing special about it. Just a gray rock. I don't know why they're turning up green when I run it through an AI image generator. But I was like, okay, well, I kind of like these. I mean, it kind of looks like emerald or jade or something. You know, it doesn't look anything like the stone that it claims to be. So I might change those names. But yeah, that's a thing. I know that I got all mixed up out of order. You just have to explore some of these for yourself. We got some new snow textures, which, I mean, that looks like snow to me. You know, and another kind of a sci-fi one to sort of pair with that. This one does look more alien-y, though. This would be a good spot to insert an ancient alien meme, just because this is kind of what it reminds me of. Only reason it's ancient is because it looks, you know, very worn, but it's got like this circle thing, and then it's got stuff coming off of it. It looks like ancient alien kind of stuff, you know. Some more stones. Let's cover these stones. I need this one. So this was my my crowning achievement. This one took me so long to get a prompt that gave me what I was looking for. And it's still really not quite exactly what I was looking for, but it's pretty close. I would have liked for the moss patches to be a little bit smaller, but it at least got the big rock chunk right, because it kept giving me like little tiny pebbles, and I was like, no, I want like giant mammoth boulders. I want this to be a thing where you could like, again, do this, make the face of a cliff, and have, you know, different rocks abutting out of it, and have moss growing on them, and obviously mix it up with some stairs and slabs and things like that. And I think this works pretty well. It's also a little... Oh, that was the wrong thing to do. Sorry, anybody on the server. I'm totally messing up the lighting here. Whoops. Yeah, so I like that one. This one looks like a fake rock. Come on, you know what I'm talking about, right? You go someplace and they have the poured concrete, but they stamped the rock into it, you know, to make it look like it's actual rock, when it's just straight up concrete with a form slapped onto the face of it. It's 100% what this reminds me of, but it does look pretty good. So that's why I kept that one around. And then there's this mossy stone. I'm not sure what my prompt was on this, because I mean, it kind of looks like, oh, I don't even know, like someone was eating cheese puffs and they dropped them all over the concrete, and then they got squished by a horde of school kids running across them, and it just honestly kind of looks weird. I don't know what I was going for with that prompt. I mean, I probably wasn't going for this. It's probably just what the prompt gave me. It may have been, I was trying to get some of like different metals in stone and stuff, but literally every time I did that, it like gave me a picture of the metal ingot, like, you know, a butter dish shaped chunk of metal, just like sitting on top of a stone. I'm like, well, I mean, you're not wrong, but that's not what I wanted. Stable diffusion. Get your act together. But yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. So I think that's it for the new textures here. I'll have to clean this up, but I'll leave the giant mess for right now. Let me run back to spawn here and cover a feature that's not yet available. So probably really shouldn't be covered. Oh, hey, wait a minute though. There is this. Check this out. Okay, so if I pull up the minimap, there is somebody inside the building we can see here. We have L_pro dash. What a cool name, right? His name disappears. His name's back. His name disappears. It's back. They kind of grow as you walk away. I don't know why he just became invisible. I don't think that's supposed to happen. But maybe it is. I don't know why they're chasing me. Yeah, let's go fast. Okay, why am I not traveling? Oh, because I don't have... There we go. All right, I don't know why they're becoming invisible, but their names are still visible. I got something screwed up in the server configuration, then transfer distance or whatever it's called must be wrong. But anyway, if I go behind, say, this wall, their names become invisible. Yes, very, very cool. So if I go behind this building, I can't see their names. They also can't see mine. But if I come over here and sneak around, there they are. And now they can see my names as well. So this was using the name tag mod by somebody, but it's actually not by them. It's kind of weird. So I forget who it was. They ripped it out of Node Core. So it's actually by, and I forget his name, the guy that made Node Core. They pretty much just ripped out the code he used for name tags and made it so it's game agnostic. And I pretty much took that code and I removed some of the bits that I thought weren't necessary for what I'm doing. So in the original code, name tags are only visible if the person is looking at you. And I was like, I don't really care if the person's looking towards you or away from you or anything else. I just didn't want names showing through building walls. Essentially, is all I cared about. So I tweaked it a little bit, and yeah, so now that's available on the server. I evidently have to configure some things yet. Oh, and then what I was coming over here to show, because I forgot to show it earlier. If we go here, the jungle is still the only, or I should say the longest playtime, rather. Okay, so this one still has nothing. This level hasn't been played. But that is recording. Let me find one of mine here. Okay, if I grab the configuration wrench. So I'm working on this, and because I'm on the server, you're not going to be able to see any of it. So it's kind of pointless to even show this. But this is it's a request I have had. Also, ignore the drop down here. This is only available to server or people holding the server privilege. I'm adding a new button down at the bottom. I think it's going to be a new button. That's the plan right now. I don't know where it'll be. Maybe on this side. But for advanced options. So it'll pretty much be, you know, the same deal here, but it'll be advanced and there'll be a back button to take you back to this. And the plan is, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is to look for feedback for if there's other things I should add. So currently the weapon, I don't even know what it's called. I think it's just called a shank. It's a knife thing that you stab people with in the game. It has a, I believe, 15-second cooldown, which was upped from a 10-second cooldown because I had, I don't know if I want to say complaints, but somebody said it was a little too fast. So I was like, oh no, put up to 15. But so anyways, I am putting in advanced options for levels. So those are going to include how long the weapon cooldown is, the amount of damage the weapon does, or something of that nature. So you could have a weapon that like is only successful 90% of the time. So there is a chance that when you try stabbing somebody that they don't take any damage, but you still lose the weapon, or maybe not lose the weapon. I haven't decided yet. So those would be the only two advanced options that I have right now, actually. I'm thinking of maybe doing like an option for what weapon the traitor has. So, for example, we could add in other weapons, you know, nunchucks, frisbees, handguns, I don't know, darts, blowguns, yo-yos, pencils, whistles, I don't know, whatever. And those, a whistle, I don't know how you use a whistle. Anyway, those could be used for different, they'd have different ranges. So like the knife has a range of, I don't even know what it is, honestly. But you got to be obviously within that range to use it, whereas something else, say maybe a frisbee, could have a further range where you could be farther away and do it, but you might have less accuracy with a frisbee, you know, because you throw it and there's wind. I mean, there's not actual wind, but IRL there's wind. And so you might be less accurate with a frisbee. I don't know. There's just some things I'm throwing around to try to enable people to have some more customability. Customability? I think customization is the right word. To their levels. So if you have any other suggestions of things that should be available to like advanced options for levels, I would love to hear, because right now if I only have like 4 options, it's going to be a pretty big empty screen with a couple checkboxes and a couple drop downs. Yeah, you know, kind of like, do I then pull something off of this screen to put into the advanced options? But like, I kind of really like how this screen is all laid out. Like, I feel like this is a good layout. So I don't know. That's why I need some feedback on that if you got any ideas. And obviously, you know, it'd be easy enough once the button's built and everything to put more options on it. So it's not like, oh, I have to know right now. Like, I can add new features to it at any point. But yeah, I just kind of want something there to fill it up, because it looks kind of dumb if you have 3 options but you gave it a whole new screen. I believe that's it for any kind of news or updates. Yeah, I think that should cover it all. So thanks for watching. If you want to play on the server, the information's all down in the video description. As always, thanks for watching. Tune in next week for another video, and I will see you then.